Oh my good golly, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Z&B Live Unfiltered.
Our show today is only 13 minutes long, just so you know, as you may be able to see in the video version of the show, top left-hand corner, it is a 13-minute timer. We're going to breeze through.
We're coming in hot.
Hot this time. Steely. Zach was too busy playing, or rather not playing, Destiny 2 yesterday.
Rather not playing. Why is that doing that? I need an engineer, folks. I need a freaking engineer. There.
Wow, look at that.
Stupid
technology.
timer. Weird. Anyway, yeah. I need an engineer. I was actually listening to a live streamer today on Twitch talk about how like they got overwhelmed because of things going on in their stream.
Yeah.
Redeems and whatever.
Yeah.
And she was trying to like play, and she's a gamer, right? And that's what, Twitch is mainly known for, is gaming and stuff like that. But she's a gamer. She's playing a story-based game, and people were overloading her with redeems in the middle of story, and she herself got overloaded. And it wasn't even necessarily the amount of redeems that were playing, it was the fact that they were breaking. So we've now determined, so there's a new service that people are using called Tangia, and it has been determined that the cloud-based servers that Tangia uses is not playing nice with the Comcast servers that people are getting their internet from or whatever, right?
Oh, weird.
So, and it's kind of only affecting Comcast people. So what happens is these things are supposed to play. They're supposed to be short, but they break, and then they just sit there and they don't go anywhere, right? And they're like right there, and then they just kind of play for a second, stop, play for a second, stop, play for a second.
Yep.
And then so like that was happening, and then the people were complaining because these things cost money. Like, people spend their money to play these things or whatever, and they're blaming the streamer for it. And I mean, getting upset with her and everything. And she just got overwhelmed with it. And it was like, and she literally said, I have to sit here and be the talent, be the content creator, the game player, and the engineer all at the same time. And it's hard. And she said, and I think somebody added, oh, and also customer service. Like, yeah, like you have to be the customer service agent on top of all that. And it's frustrating, and it can get overwhelming at times for people. And I've made the joke before that if you want to derail a live stream on Twitch or YouTube or wherever, just simply, and I swear to God, our chat, don't do this. All you simply type is, I can't hear you.
Yes.
Muted, something like that, right? Something that has to do with sound, and everything stops.
Yeah, not only that, massive pet peeve of mine, when somebody has a broadcast and then it might stop, or it might, the signal gets cut off or it gets choppy or whatever, and then people in the live show chat will say, oh no. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. You're saying, oh no, about what? About like what happened to your DoorDash order? What happened to something in the kids' playroom? What does oh no mean?
What does oh no mean?
And it's supposed to mean the live stream is down, but because you people don't communicate and use the lips and the vocal cord that vibrates and articulates words in a given language, or rather articulate the neurons firing in your brain into the keyboard to articulate properly, how are we supposed to know that? Or like, or whelp, or clear communication will save you so much time, effort, energy. Please, for the love of everything, don't be a Goomba. Clearly communicate when something's going on or going wrong. Don't troll the person. Just do the thing. And then we got somebody in here in the live show. Becca's like, oh no, oh no. She's flailing in an endless void. It's
I'm
like,
getting double audio from Brian. Please be much clearer with your oh no's.
The live stream is no longer functional on my system. I know it's a mouthful,
Brian got me last night.
Oh, well, yeah, it was an honest mistake. Yeah.
Live stream last night. He goes, you realize you've had, and here's the thing, like you see the amount of mistakes I'm making today because of how tired I am. Last night, he goes, you've had words on stream pinned to the top of your chat for 6 hours. And I went, what?
Well, so
I'm
to be fair,
everything at this point, trying to figure out what he's seeing.
When something is unpinned on the top of a Twitch chat, it normally goes away. But it's stuck there, and I had it refreshed for like probably 2 hours. So because you were locked into the game for 5 hours. I'm like, oh, he probably forgot, whatever.
Everything halted at that. Actually, I think I was probably in an error screen anyway, so it was fine to check. So it didn't really matter. I had nothing else going.
A mispinned chat is the least of your concerns compared to like, why does the screen look so like flaky?
Right.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's flaky. I'm hearing it's crunchy. I love crunchy.
Why do I hear Butterfingers?
Butterfingers. I love it. It's just again, you have to realize as a viewer that the live internet game is interesting unless you have a full staff helping you produce internet content. You are the content creator, you're the cameraman, you're the audio engineer, you're the technical director, you're the producer, like you're doing everything all at once. And with my background in live television, like we have full trucks of people that handle this stuff. There's an A1 and A2 and two audio people, right? That are in charge of audio. There's a director, a producer, and a technical director, right? So at any point in time, the director can help take over for the technical director if he's got a problem or whatever, right? The producer can kind of help take over for the director. You have two graphics people. These are smaller shows, two graphics people that are handling all the graphics and making sure the fonts are correct and making sure the spelling, making sure they didn't forget an R in Brickworld, stuff like that, right? And then you've got everybody on playback that are handling all of the playback stuff and whatnot. And then you got several guys just dedicated to cameras and making sure the cameras are shaded properly and the color is correct and all that. And you know what? There are still tons of problems. But as soon as those problems happen, everybody can it's like a submarine. Everybody can help each other out and figure out how to do it and cover each other's bases and departments and things so they can go handle their problem and somebody else can cover. We don't have that. And most live streamers don't have that.
You ever want to feel better about yourself? Go back and watch a Mr. Beast live stream on YouTube. This guy has more money than any content creator out there. And they are, can you give me the censor, Zach?
Yeah, got it.
They are awful. Horrifically bad live streams. The audio doesn't work. The camera placement sucks. Everything about them sucks. And he has some of the best videos with the highest amount of views and the most subscribers on YouTube as of right now. And his are garbage. So don't feel bad about yourself. Let the water roll off your back.
Yeah. Speaking of live streams and whatnot, you can catch us live here every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube. And then after the fact, obviously the videos are posted for you guys, but you can also find us on the podcast formats, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. The big change is going to be next week. We will not be live on Wednesday here on YouTube. We're going to be live Friday on YouTube from Brickworld Chicago. Cannot wait. So a little bit of a schedule change next week for everybody. It'll be 1 p.m. Eastern time, not 10 a.m. Eastern time next Friday on the 14th. And I'm sure you're going to hear us talk about that a little bit more in detail as the show goes on. But also do not forget that live content also continues over on Twitch with Mr. Bricks O'Brien in that partner push.
Tonight at 6 p.m. I'm building the Bricker Builds Blue Shell. I got one more live show before I head out on Monday. And yeah,
so you're gonna be able to, are you gonna be able to get it done before you go to Brickworld?
Absolutely tonight? Not a chance. Not a chance.
You're just gonna you got to put in a 6-hour stream tonight.
If the people want me there, we'll see.
People want you there. Here's the thing. If you're live longer, That gives us more time to be in your channel to earn those points for those big giveaways that you've got going. Tell me about the giveaways you got going.
Right now, courtesy of Mr. Vacuum Wetledge, there
Who?
is the
Me? No.
yeah. There is the Animal Crossing prize pack, which means you get one of every single Animal Crossing Lego set currently available at retail, and that goes to all one person who ends up watching the live shows and using their Bob Bucks to purchase tickets and enjoy what I do. So if you are there, you are earning points and have a chance to win that prize pack. So be there early, right when I start. I post my schedule everywhere far ahead of time, including on Twitch itself, and get bonus points and get to hang out with the people too. So it's a good time.
That's the thing. It's really just, we talk about, basically these giveaways are just the gift with purchase, right? When we equate it to Lego, it's you know, you're showing up for the Barad-dûr set, right? But you're gonna walk away with that tasty little gift with purchase for free, which are your Bob Bucks. You're gonna get those Animal Crossing sets. We've got a Nintendo Switch giveaway coming up, and then the big one is the Deku Tree to end all of it, right? It's still 3 months worth of giveaways on Mr. Bricks O'Brien's channel. So make sure you're over there, get there early, stay often. Make sure you check where can they find like your schedule and stuff posted?
You can find it on my Twitch channel, specifically twitch.tv/BricksO'Brien. It is on the scheduled tab within Twitch, which I don't know if a lot of people actually use, but that's a definitive way to find it. So every week it's updated there, and you can see what happens before it happens.
But you're posting live notifications and schedule stuff to obviously YouTube posts and
Discord,
Twitter, Instagram, Discord, right?
Yep. All the places. All the places you would expect.
All the places. Very, very cool. Well, like I said, we got a big show today, but we're gonna have a really big show next week, next Friday. Our first ever live in front of the studio audience. We're not really be in a studio, in front of a live audience, which is kind of cool. Z&B Live on the road at Brickworld Chicago. And dude, I'm jacked. I'm so jacked for Brickworld Chicago. There are a lot of people, believe it or not, that consider themselves AFOLs, adult fans of Lego, that are families that have kids that are fans of Lego, that have maybe an idea that Lego conventions exist, but they don't really know what to expect from them, and they don't really understand why there's this big hubbubaloo around Brickworld Chicago. Which actually it's Schaumburg, but Schaumburg isn't as tasty of a word as Chicago is.
Tasty.
I dealt with the same thing with one of my old TV clients. We were in the exact same place for our show that Brickworld Chicago is. It was at the Schaumburg Convention Center, but we never put on any of our marketing materials Schaumburg. It was Chicago, even though it's relatively kind of far away from Chicago. But what is it about Brickworld Chicago that is so tasty and gets everybody so jacked about it?
There's a couple different types of Lego shows that are out there. The one that people will find most often in their local area, in case they're not familiar, is the type of convention that only happens for 2 days, where you'll go there with a family for a couple hours, kind of get your fill of Lego, interactive stuff, whatever is happening. Very family focused, I would say. And that those shows tend to travel around, and Brickworld actually puts on a couple of those shows, kind of in the Midwest, not as spread out as some of the other shows are. Those happen way more frequently by a bunch of different companies. What makes Brickworld and Brickworld Chicago specifically special is not only are there the 2 public days that you can attend with Declan, Donald, Tabitha, and Tammy, but also multiple days before.
Don't forget about Jilly.
And Jilly. Multiple days before then if you are as I would phrase it, a diehard Lego fan, you can go and engage with the people that have made these incredible creations, all the activities that are surrounding the event, specific shows that happen, and just get a chance to meet the people that you might have met online. And this is the place that everybody uses as a calling card for the community to come together. So obviously, for a lot of people, getting out to Chicago, Schaumburg, whatever, is quite a bit of money and an investment of time and getting time off work and whatever. But the experience you get out of here is going to be worth it more than the vast majority of those Lego sets you're buying on day one. It is the place to not just cash in on the connections you've made online over the years, but have a chance to meet new people and make new friends, which is the point of the whole second book that I have. Literally, the point of book 2, like where do you go to meet new and interesting people that share similar hobbies and whatever. It is at a convention, because that's one of the best places you can find people that you mesh with. And Brickworld has some of the biggest square footage, creators from all around the world, not just content creators, but also like Lego builders and people potentially from the company and whatever. Like there's so many different types of people that are there, that if you are in any way, shape, and form in the Lego sphere, it is worth it for you to go, not just for public days, but for those diehard AFOL days as well.
You've been in this world a lot longer than I have? How did Chicago become the mecca of this? How did that particular show become the mecca of these types of conventions?
Well, it kind of starts with the people that are running them. So a lot of the seasoned Lego fans had a affinity for Brian Bonahum, who was the original founder of Brickworld itself. And you have Brian Bonahum, you have other people that are like, they're the main people behind the convention, and people just settle up in wherever they're going to settle. I think with Brickworld Chicago specifically, it's central enough that people wanted to drive out and make it happen. And as you're having one convention, you want to obviously build the business, you want to see it grow. You got to put eggs into one basket, and then boom, it's Chicago. We can justify going to Schaumburg and have this big convention center. And now they are at a record level of displays and people going where they cannot handle all of the display requests, and people are asking to be sized down and all that, which is a testament to how important Brickworld Chicago is for people. And the only other show that really holds a candle to it is Brick Fair Virginia, which is at an entirely different scale than any of this, and is not a show that I'm necessarily head over heels for. But Chicago being as close to Schaumburg being as close to Chicago as it is, and being centrally located for a lot of people, is very helpful. So I think that plays into it.
I'm blown away by when we kind of, I didn't really, you were telling us, like, if you're going to go to one convention, because last year Chicago was my very first Lego convention, right? And you kept telling me and others, if you're going to pick one to go to this year, this is the one to go to. And then
Yes.
I was blown away when I heard the numbers of the amount of first-time attendees there, right? And I was one of them. I was included in one of them. And we walked away just singing the praises of this show, to the point now where they're expecting and already seeing an even bigger number of first-time attendees coming. So the word got out that this is the place to be. What first timers coming in, right? Those first-time attendees, what is it that they need to know going in and to expect? Primarily, like, so especially start with, there's two different kind of attendee tickets, right? Like, there's the ones that, obviously you're an exhibitor this time, but there's like the AFOL style attendee badge that gets you in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but then there's also just, general admission. So kind of walk us through like that, and then what is it that they need to expect going into it?
Or people only attending the first, the public days rather, you're going to be able to see everything in pretty much a day. You can go for multiple days if you want to, but the activities where things really shine are outside of those hours. If you have the expanded ticket from Wednesday going through Sunday, you'll be able to see all of the creations that people have put up, and they should be entirely set up and ready to go by Saturday. That's what everybody aims for. All systems go at that point. All the interactive bits that are there. There are vendors that you can take a look at, Lego items and other non-Lego items, which may involve Mr. O'Brien. And
Book.
Yeah, right. Well, there's also Lego stuff too. So, just there's a lot that you can experience, and it's a more polished experience compared to if you were an AFOL going there. If you are an adult Lego fan, you get to see, and you have that expanded ticket, you can see everything like begin to happen. Where last year I was tagging along with Bricker Builds a little bit, and I got to watch the convention hall be literally nothing except empty tables, to seeing everything pop up and then everything go back down. So that's kind of a cool visual if you're around there for that amount of time. And if you have that expanded ticket, your options for stuff greatly expands. So if you happen to be in their Discord server, there's some people talking about, stuff going on. I heard there's an app that you can get and download. I don't have the app. I don't bother with that. But I'm sure a lot of other people do. The two biggest things I would advocate as first timers, do everything. If you don't know what is going on, there are parts drafts where you can like get a bunch of brick. There's a concert happening from The Fold, which is the band that I think they sing Ninjago. I don't know. A lot of that stuff going on. Yeah,
I know people were going gaga over this band. I was like, okay,
yeah.
Sorry, I don't get it, but that's fine.
Well, you're old, and I'm an old spirit. The thing that I would
Gramps
highly
get the hat.
Here's what I would highly recommend you don't do at Brickworld Chicago. What I detest, what I would highly advocate you don't do. Don't go to Brickworld Chicago and say, "Hey, me and 3 people, you want to go see a movie? You want to go do this? You want to go?" There is so much to do at that convention, and so many people to meet, and so many unique experiences that you can have within a 5-day period, that you should absolutely not do something that is going to take that significant amount of time away from you meeting other people or doing literally anything. Everybody has a social battery. They got to recoup and do whatever. That's what sleeping at the end of the night in your hotel room is, and early in the morning. When it comes to being in this place, you're spending all this money to be there, and have a chance to see people from all around the world you would never be able to engage with otherwise. Do not do something like that going into a movie. I would also recommend don't like, I don't know, spend time with just a solid 3 people. Like, this is a place to like comfortably step out of your comfort zone and meet new people, and you're not going to be the weirdo at this place, right? You have the entire oyster of Brickworld in front of you, so please take advantage of that. I know social anxiety, power through it like the Kool-Aid man through a brick wall. Gotta do it. This is the time and place to do it.
I love that. Well said. Well said. It can be overwhelming. When you walk in, it's nice if you're the attendee that can get in on a Wednesday or a Thursday early on and kind of get your feet wet as a first time attendee, right? Where it's not as crazy and whatnot, but people are so welcoming. Like I just that was like the first thing that I remember more than anything was, walking in. Wait, sorry. I had a ruptured Achilles at the time, rolling in on my scooter and immediately just being welcomed by people, like just going, "Oh," and getting a hug or somebody running up and wanting to say hi. And that was amazing. Like that was super fun. And but don't be afraid, I guess, as weird as it sounds, to be overwhelmed, to have that feeling, that overwhelming feeling. Because when you walk into that convention hall and you see all of the displays, it's a lot. And I remember even spending as much time there in that hall as I did. I remember seeing Instagram posts and whatnot afterwards going, how did I miss that? How did I miss this? It's going to happen. So don't feel like you got to try to, in my opinion, don't feel like you got to try to do everything. Like, just go at your pace. You can kind of treat the hall as if you're mowing your lawn, just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you can do that a couple different times. Don't be afraid to, as an icebreaker, if you want to go talk to somebody new, go up and ask them what they think you should maybe be looking at. What did they see that was cool, right? What was something that maybe there's an event coming up, which some of the stuff you have to pre-register for. So just keep that in mind. But, what was something that their thoughts on it, right? Use that as a way to engage in conversation. And, as Brian
one
said,
of the things,
don't try to go do something else, right? Like, we had ideas of maybe, like, we still went out to lunch and dinner and stuff like that. That's fine. But like, we had ideas like, well, if things get to whatever, we'll go see this movie. That never even crossed our freaking minds, man. Like, once we got there, we were in it. We were in the thick of it, and we never wanted to leave. It was that much fun.
What they do for first-time attendees is they typically have something they put in the bag, which is like last year it was butterbeer mugs where you could put them on your badge that you will get, which it is not a convention badge. Well, they have that, but it's a brick badge that you can put the butterbeer mug on, and and there's also a brick that identifies you as first time, which you can choose to wear it or not. It's up to you. But the idea is you can give that mug to somebody else as a token of, hey, thank you for helping me feel welcome at Brickworld. Have this. So they typically do that every year as a bit of an icebreaker. So I would like to think I am fairly approachable, although some people have told me that they were afraid to walk up to me for whatever reason. I look like so
if you wear the hat, it'll be more approachable.
So in Chicago, if you happen to see me, whether I already know of you, don't recognize you, or I'm crying in a court, it doesn't matter the circumstance. Approach me if you need somebody to be like, Brian, what do I do? How do I do this? One of my moderators is going for the first time, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you're gonna do this and this and this and this and this. He's like, okay, cool. And then go off, flap his duck wings and go.
Yeah.
So that's
go
what I take.
Off, little attendee, go and
yeah,
fly.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not hanging around with me all weekend, not by a long shot, but I'll tell you what to do. Like, we'll do some stuff together, whatever. But go off and make new friends. Man, the book really ties into this stuff. It's gonna be great. Anyways,
are
sorry.
you bringing the hat just in case?
Unless
the answer is yes. The answer is yes, Brian. The answer to that
if
question
there is
is
no
yes.
If there is no check mark next to my name on Twitch, if there is no email confirmation in my inbox, the hat will not make an appearance.
But it should go in the bag.
What I choose to do with my bag, Zach, I have this wonderful book called Pro Gamer's Guide to Making Friends, and there's some paperback copies I can fit inside of my luggage. I don't know if I'll have room. I don't know.
Side quest. I've had a couple people ask me about your book, about not even just your first book, but this new book especially. And they were wanting to know if there is kind of an age range for people for that book.
Says it on the back. 4 to 10, because although yes, it is a picture book for children, it's like the book that I wanted as a kid, where it was like not like more sophisticated, but it's not like a baby book like, oh, let's count your numbers and let's, it's like a a full-fledged story and world and characters that might be a bit beyond, I guess, what you might expect out of a book for 4-year-olds. So.
But do you think that even beyond 10-year-old, you think there's because I got this from your first book, frankly, as an adult. I feel like there was still important information in there.
Yes.
It's presented in a way that's mainly designed for that age, right? But like I still feel like there's some interesting information because there are a lot of adults with social anxiety that you just talked about. And I know it may feel a little strange to read a book like that, but like they don't make books like that for adults really, right? So it's like that's easy to digest. That's basically says, hey, I know what you're going through, right? So I just wanted to make sure we got it from the author's mouth here that maybe it is okay if you're a little bit beyond that 10 year of age to maybe look at that book and say, hey, this actually is worth it.
You saying all that gives me goosebumps, Zach, not gonna lie. It's like that's how, but that's like exactly the point. Like it's not just for kids. And the book has not been in anybody else's hands yet. So I don't want to like there's stuff, not that it's like big spoilers and whatever, but like we're already like we knew about the Deku Tree a year before it came out. Let me have a surprise for some people here. So I don't want to like spoil stuff for people.
Oh, Brian, there's leaks all over Reddit already. The whole book is on Reddit already. Like, don't, just so you know.
It's on a Russian website in Pig Latin. But there's parts of the book that like, once you see it, you're like, oh, it can be that simple to like make a new connection and be comfortable putting myself out there. And if you read that and you're in Brickworld and you're looking through it and you're like, I'm here right now in this book, in this moment, let me try. And I think that'll be a very moving moment once you see that. So
what when you know, because you've got so much experience over the years at Brickworld, and even like a first-time attendee like me last year, what are some of those things that you've seen over the years that are kind of like your must-dos, right? So you're a first-time attendee, or even if you're, you know, second, third, fourth, you know, whatever year attendee, what are those things that you make sure you don't miss? Like, what, in your opinion, what are those things you just don't miss?
You don't want to miss the opportunity to talk to people that have made the creations that are on display. Some people like to run off and hide as soon as they display their stuff and you never see them again. So if you see something and somebody in the relative area, don't be afraid to ask anybody that is like behind the stanchion area or behind the table, like, hey, is the person who made this around? And ask. People love hearing about their work and like, oh, I'll tell you everything about, generally speaking. So you won't be lacking in conversation in that way. So have a little bit of courage to ask who made the thing that you really enjoy and ask them about it. That's what I always try to do. You can take a look at all of the different custom printed pieces that are there from vendors, because, you know, you may see a lot of this stuff on the Lego website and, you know, resale shops that have a bunch of stuff, but there are people there that specifically have a booth for custom printed stuff, whether it be Eclipse Graphics or whoever, that their entire business is having stuff like that. And you can even get your own stuff made, which if you're tuning in for Z&B, maybe you'll get something like that. I don't know, man. It's just a rumor. So there's the opportunity to see that stuff in real life as opposed to just on a picture. Same thing goes for, I don't know if Brickmania is going, but like the custom kits, like Bricker Builds will be there. You can see all of this stuff in real life that you would otherwise never would. One of the things we'll get to, I believe, up next, you should probably try to get into, even though it is like a cesspool of people trying to get deals and whatever. But besides all that, the thing that you should do the most is like I said before, be open to conversation. You don't do yourself any favors hiding in the corner. That is not why you're there, or at least that's not why I'm there. And there are plenty of people there that will be overwhelmingly energetic to see your face. So do yourself the service of hanging out in the restaurant, in the lobby, in different panels that might happen for a lot of the content that is happening on the whatever stage they're calling it. They don't have an official name, do we? I don't know. So
We
hang
got
out there.
we got an official name for it.
Yeah. So
I don't know if they want to steal it or not, but by God, we're going to use it.
this is year one for that. So leave yourself open to as many opportunities as possible. And then if you feel like losing a limb, you can go to the garage sale. But that's up to you.
I was just scrolling the event, the activity list and whatnot that Brickworld has. So if you go to brickworld.com/all-activities, you can get an entire list of times, events and descriptions of everything going on. And yes, to me, number one, the top thing that you should make sure you do if you are an attendee, if you're attending Brickworld Chicago, is Friday, June 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern. You need to be in front of that stage for the live show of Z&B Live Unfiltered. The thing that stood out to me the most was that World of Lights show that they do the Saturday night, where they you turn off all the lights and all of the displays that have lights in them and everything like that all fires up, and it's one of the coolest things that I've seen at or saw that I saw at Brickworld. I loved that part of it. 10 p.m. Central Time for them to 11:50 p.m. Central Time in the event hall. Man, that was an experience. I absolutely loved it. If there was
totally
one thing
forgot about that. Sorry.
on the top of my list, by God, it is that World of Lights event that they do Saturday night. It's after the garage sale, I believe. Yeah, it's like right after the garage sale. So you do the garage sale, whatever time, and then you pop over to the thing. It was incredible, and even there in the dark, I was still meeting new people. Like, that was still really cool, right? Like, you were still finding opportunities to meet and talk to even new people. And if you are one of those attendees that have that extra time, to come into the convention hall early, stay late, whatever, take advantage of that. That's a really good time to go talk to some of those vendors, some of those designers, the GBC folks, where they're doing the great, ball contraption thing, where all motorized and the balls are just continuing across all of these different builds that they've all come together to manipulate and work. That's incredible. Just picking their brain about how they did and accomplish what they did and what it took to accomplish that. Trust me, they like to talk, and they will talk your ear off, and it is fun. And some of it's interactive, which is really cool. Like, you would think like it's Lego, displays. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, Mr. Williams. Like, but no, like, you can go there, and a lot of these guys want you to interact with some of their stuff, and it's cool. Like, that's really, really cool stuff to get involved with and be a part of, and take advantage of those extra time that you have if you're one of those the AFOL tickets, right? Like, take advantage of that extra time to really. That's a good time to talk to these guys. Like Brian said, if they don't want to talk, they disappear. But if they're behind their little area and they're sitting there, and guess what? They want to talk to you. They would love to hear how much you're enjoying their stuff, and they will want to talk to you about it. And take advantage of that opportunity, because you're gonna maybe you haven't even considered mocking something up, and maybe you can. I know I walk away. I haven't done it yet, but I've walked away being inspired by the stuff I've seen, and I want to dip my toe into that water, and I want to try it out. So take advantage of some of that stuff. Talking to these people, trade those business cards. Get on their social lists. Whatever, and kind of become part of their world, to maybe glean a little bit of insight into how to do some of the amazing things that they do. Just part of the fun and different things that you can do with Brickworld. Now, one of the things that you mentioned, Brian, was the garage sale, and that's high on my list this year. I didn't go last year. Again, partly was because I was in a stupid scooter, and I just, it was hard to navigate around. But And I mainly because I felt bad. Like I was like, I just didn't want to run over somebody's toe or something, right? But this year I'm going to be mobile, so I want to be able to walk around and I want to do something like this. But we've brought it up on this show before where I've been in the convention hall and have seen vendors in the hall selling things and whatnot for crazy, ridiculous money.
Yeah, man.
But the garage sale isn't necessarily that. What's the difference between garage sale and like the vendors that you see on the showroom floor?
Garage sale is all the ragtags coming together with their collections and trying to sell off their Lego to buy more Lego is pretty much what it amounts to. So for $5, which is a unbelievably stupid low amount of money, which I would not be surprised if that quadruples in future years. So prepare yourselves. But for $5, you can get a table for the yard sale, garage sale, and you set up your table. You have your stuff. People at last year flooded in and looked for deals on anything and everything. You're talking new off the shelf, right down the street from Target, all the way to retro stuff you've never seen before, high ticket items. You're talking sealed, open, minifigures, custom, whatever. People will intentionally bring stuff in their suitcase or otherwise to sell at the garage sale to help, recoup the cost of their trip or liquidate the collection or whatever. So the way that it's different this year is you have to, or not have to, but you should get a early entry ticket, which is part of your registration on Brickworld. Do not ask me how to navigate to that menu and find it. I could not explain it. It is not intuitive. It is not intuitive at all, but
don't want to knock them, but their website's not easy.
It's not great at all. So not only can you get a registration for the AFOL days or whatever, but there's now events that you can sign up for ahead of time. Yeah, one of those is a ticketed entry to the garage sale, which may or may not play into your favor. So just because you were number 5 on the list to get your early entry does not mean you'll be number 5 to go into the garage sale. It is a random drawing. And as I discovered, you will find out when you get your badge what time you are allowed to go into the garage sale. So basically from the time it begins to ends, you want to plan on being around there just in case something comes up. Now, I went in. I don't think I bought anything. Now, I am Mr. Lego Mario. And what people were not selling a lot of was a lot of Lego Mario. I saw one table, somebody was selling stuff, and it was like all brand new sealed. And no, I don't need brand new sealed because I'm taking it in a suitcase. I'm not, whatever. And they wanted decent prices for stuff, but I'm like, I want the open stuff that your kid doesn't play with anymore, and I'll scrub it up and put it on display behind me or whatever. I don't need sealed whatever from people. But you can find deals there. You can haggle if you want to. You can trade. There's all different ways you can get stuff at the garage sale. It's not just set your price and you're done. So a lot of opportunity there.
Do you feel like people are fairly open to the idea of kind of haggling and trading, like the actual vendors inside the garage sale? Or is it kind of like, no, this is my price, this is what I value it at, and they're not going to budge?
So I think of the visual I have when I go into the garage sale is like I walked in to Mos Eisley, and there's scum and villainy everywhere. There's people that are like, you wanna buy some of what I got over here? Come on. And then everybody's like a bazaar, right? And like I'm in a bazaar. Everybody's trying to get your attention, whatever. And they're selling an R2D2 for $100. I'm like, you'll give me that for $75. Like, what are you talking about? It's sealed and brand new and but $75, and then you walk away. You float. You move. You whatever. Some people, you just gotta, and then they'll, you're good.
I love that. Is it? I'm wondering what would be the better, like, as far, obviously it's going to be a luck of the draw at this time, but I wonder what's the better time to go, like early or right at the end, right? Like, because early, obviously you get a chance at all the stuff if you're able to walk in the doors right as they open, right? But people are probably less likely to haggle and deal at that point versus the end when they're like, I got to get rid of it. I don't want to take it home.
So the thing is, once you get your ticket, I mean, you can stay in there. Like I don't. They're not kicking people
Really?
out.
They're not kicking people. There's
Not
not a time frame.
no. I mean, how
Oh,
would they
see,
kick people out? Like, okay, we're gonna let batch one in. Now everybody leave. All right, now everybody.
oh, I would have.
No.
That's what I would have done. Like, get out.
Well, you're not in charge. So
Clear the room.
So-
The room's not that big. Like, clear the room. Like, you just okay, everybody. It's time to get on your little blowhorn.
it'd be a disaster. So I don't think they're kicking people out. They might change their mind, but you can float around there and just wait until the very end. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk in with a big Lego, like it's gonna say Mario, and I'm gonna make eye contact with every single one of those vendors. I'm not gonna vocally speak because if they don't have Mario, I don't care. I just walk away. I'll hold the sign. And if they say yes, come here, Mr. Saviano. Yes, come over here. We got a deal for you. We got a couple of Koopa Troopas and a Goomba. If they don't have that, I'm gone. So,
I mean, come on, they don't even have. You've got all the Mario stuff at this point. They don't have that much.
Yeah, but I want more. I have a problem.
I want more of it. Oh my god! You need
I-
your
I-
Mario battle pack. Your Koopa Trooper
Yes.
battle pack.
Yes.
So, but there is a difference though, because you're going to have vendors as well. So if you're walking around the convention hall, you're going to have vendors out there that also have, displays set up of this same kind of looking stuff, but they're not going to be as open-minded on the whole idea of wheeling and dealing out there. And you're going to maybe see some higher prices on things on that convention
for the
floor.
vendors specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, these people, they do this as a business. This is their, typically family run operation. You have the dad who's been doing this for 20 years with the kids now helping out and whatever. It's very much that. What I find is if there is something you really want, you have, let's say you bring a bag of minifigures, right? Which I actually might, like a bag of Lego Star Wars, all this Lego Star Wars junk I don't want. You can walk up to a booth and you can say, hey, I got all this stuff.
It's a big bag of
want
overrated,
that.
apparently.
Yeah, all the overrated Darth Revans in one bag. What do you want for these? And they were willing to cut you a trade because, they're looking to exchange product that, at least in my cases, like they don't want that Mario stuff, but they want the Star Wars, whatever. So you can get a lot further trading with vendors than you will buying from the vendors. So I would recommend that. If you have like a 1 gallon, 2 gallon bag, Ziploc bag of stuff, especially loose stuff like figures like that, bring that with you. And, people are happy to appraise stuff at the convention. There's a lot of people. There's also a lot of time that people just lounging around and, during the off hours, during public hours, forget about it. They're swamped. But if you're there like, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, some of the vendors don't stick around, but if they do, yeah, you can talk to them.
Yeah. Interesting. Last bit of heads up news from me when it comes to the overall convention. I know this kind of goes back to first timers, but I forgot to mention it, is the parking situation there at the convention center. If you are driving or have a car and you're not staying on site or anything like that, just be aware on the Saturday and especially the Saturday and Sunday show times, the parking is a nightmare. And if you want a close spot for parking, get there early. Like get there really early. If not, they're going to park you across the street in another lot. You're going to have to walk across the
pro gamer tip too. You can also park at technically the hotel, and you can walk through the entire hotel in air conditioned.
You can, yes, you can. But they last year because we were experiencing because we didn't stay at the hotel last year. We stayed off site, and when we would drive over, they were parking people. Even if even the hotel has a finite amount of space, they were parking people across the street because it was so packed in that parking lot. And you kind of lose sight of that if you stay at the hotel and you're just walking through the hotel to the convention center because you don't see what's going on outside. But it started to occur Friday as people were starting to show up for the weekend kind of thing. But those Saturday and Sunday show times, my God, it was a parking nightmare. So just keep that in mind. If you need to park close, get there early. Or else you're going to be parking across the street and walking across the street before you can even get to the hotel. Just like Brian said, pro gamers tip there. The last thing that we really want to touch on is what we're dubbing the brick stage, because I don't really know what else to call it. They don't have a name for it. And unfortunately, under their events activities section on their website, they don't have a list yet of who's live when or anything like that on this.
I submitted that information. It should be on there. But anyway, hey man.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Hey,
Hey man.
but hey, you know how it goes. I'm hoping at some point in time that'll end up on an app, or it'll end up on their website or whatever kind of thing. But it's something brand new that they're doing this year, and I was excited to work with Brian and get our show, in this on the stage area and whatnot, to do a Z&B live. Now the plan is that we will have a good enough internet connection to run it live, not only on site, but also out to our YouTube channel here where we normally do this stuff. There is a chance that it may not work live on that Friday. There is a chance. We will be, in that instance, we will be recording it and then uploading it after the fact.
They have ensured that there is stable internet. Now, stable internet for most people is different from what we would consider stable internet, where, if we have like 2,500 kilobits on our live stream, we're like, oh, this is gross. I can't do this. So,
right.
Exactly. It depends.
So, like I said, as a backup, we will be recording the video portion of everything and then uploading it afterwards, just to make sure that everything goes out okay. Obviously, it'll still hit all of the the podcast channels, Apple Podcast and Spotify. But it was an interesting idea for them to decide to kind of do this. So what's the idea of the whole stage in general, Brian?
Yeah, the idea for the stage during the non-public days is to have people show up, and they will be doing their shows that people are familiar with from the online space. So London Bridge Bricks, for example, every Friday since the dawn of time has done a live stream panel of people showing up, talking about Lego, whatever. He will be there and he will be doing that show. There's also what we're doing here, Z&B, which, we do this every week, and we have a slot over there, More, who does Crossing the Streams. We'll be having Crossing the Streams live, actually, right before we go on. So we'll be having him as not a warm up, but
he's the guinea pig.
Yeah, he's making sure all the equipment works. And if it doesn't, Amor is used to having unstable internet.
He's
anyway,
got Gus.
So it's fine.
He's got Gus on standby.
Gus, that guy Gus. So it's meant as a way to showcase the people who put on produced shows on this stage and bring a bit more of that influencer alley content creator vibe to it. There's definitely a lot of people at Brickworld that have been there for years, and they just show up, display stuff, and there you go. Whereas this is highly interactive, bringing a whole different flair, almost like a New York, San Diego Comic-Con, having something live reporting from there. In between people doing their own shows, there's going to be Brickworld Daily or Brickworld Live or something. I forget what they're calling that as well. But I'm actually taking over one of those sessions Friday, where it's a 2-hour block. People can come on, talk about their experience at the convention in real time, showcase some creations that people bring them over for the Brickworld audience specifically. And then during the public days and public hours, there's going to be some of the more prolific content creators going on stage, and they'll be talking about whatever they want to talk about, engaging with their fan base and having a bit of a signing session after they're done. So a couple of names you would recognize definitely on that list, and it's shaping up. A lot of it semi last minute, but it's shaping up really nicely.
That's awesome. I'm very excited that they're doing something like that for the first. And it's cool. Like, obviously, some of this stuff kind of comes together last minute. It just does. But it's nice that they are. They've taken another step forward. I'm only experienced this 1 year. You've obviously, have experienced multiple years, right? But, they're seeing the growth of the convention, and they're starting to lean into that and say, okay, so what can we do next, right? And it's a good way to do it, where it doesn't become stagnant, where it's not the same show, different year kind of thing. Let's learn from previous experiences, adapt those previous experiences, but then also add some new stuff. So, we're hoping that this becomes a regular thing and grows and expands, and we need people to turn out for those live broadcasts and shows and things to show that there is an audience for that kind of content.
What I really, really, really want to do, Zach, is I want to do Z&B live, like live on a public day and public energy, and people who have no idea who we are or no idea about the show, because a lot of hardcore Lego people watch us and whatever. But like the fair weather people, like, who are these two like Goombas on stage yelling and screaming and like, oh my, like, what is happening? And I think that is the next evolution of it. But as you mentioned earlier about live stream production, you need a whole team of people dedicated to just that for a production like that. And whether it's not in the budget or not within the bandwidth or the knowledge base right now, not this year, but in the future.
Sure.
Yes.
I would love that. I feel like we're gonna have enough people show up. We're gonna make some noise over at that stage.
Yeah.
Friday, June 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna make some noise, folks. That's 12 p.m. Central, by the way, just so you guys know. That's 12 p.m. local time, just time zone people. But that we're gonna. I want people making noise. I want that entire hall to know that we've got stuff happening over on that stage. And I'm excited. We're going to have things to announce while we're there, and just kind of get you guys prepared for what to expect at Brickworld the entire time. So get ready. It's gonna be a blasty blast of a time. I can't wait, and I'm excited that they did it. To wrap things up, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, is there anything like last minute here that we haven't discussed about Brickworld that really people should know going into the show if they are attending?
Take part in the cuisine. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get if you don't have a car. There are probably, if you know people and you are traveling around with people, you can catch a Uber, catch a Lyft, catch a ride, whatever. Some of the food around there is regional to Chicago. So Giordano's Pizza, there's Portillo's hot dogs, which I think, hot take, Zach, hot take, I think Portillo's is highly overrated. I'm gonna say it. I got
a different take for you.
Yep.
I got a soggy take for you, because Portillo's is nothing but soggy wieners on a bun.
Wow. There's also Medieval Times if you want to go. It almost falls into like you're away from the con for too long that I'm like, but you get a group together or whatever. There's stuff around the convention if you're willing to have a little bit of a drive for it. So don't feel like you're trapped there. There is a restaurant. There is a hotel lobby Starbucks on deck, but obviously hotel prices are very, whatever. But there's stuff to do around there too. So make those meaningful connections with people. Don't eat soggy hot dogs, and enjoy the Lego.
No, if you're gonna get out and go do something, go grab one of our amazing Filipino friends like Mr. AZ Pinoy here, and have him go take you out for some good Filipino cuisine. Let's go do that instead of soggy hot dogs.
Grab a Filipino is gonna be the theme of Brickworld Chicago in 2024.
Hashtag grab a Filipino. I love it. We obviously we still have Mr. Bricks O'Brien push for partner over on Twitch. So he's going to be live Wednesday night tonight, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you get there early and stay off. You got to earn those Bob bucks. We're going to push him. We're going to make him stick around, I think, until he finishes that blue shell, because the good folks over at Bricker Builds, man, they want that shell done before he ventures off. The good people
at Bricker Builds want a lot of things.
They do. Give the people what they want, Mr. O'Brien, including the hat.
The next time I see you, it'll be in Chicago, man.
Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to give you a big old bear hug. It's going to be amazing. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, where can the kids find you on the internet?
Everywhere and anywhere, from the handle at Bricks O'Brien, specifically on YouTube, Twitch, Roku, Kinoodle TV, and at the Schaumburg Convention Center in not Chicago, but in Illinois. This time, literally next week. Will I have the hat? Will I not have the hat? You just have to wait and see.
Gotta just be there. Hashtag just be there. Hashtag just be there. Thank you so much, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. My name is Zach. You can find me all over the internet, Zach M. Rutledge, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Brian, dude, I cannot wait to give you a big old hug. I'll be seeing you on Thursday, and then our big show Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, live from the Schaumburg Convention Center at Brickworld, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you check us out on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, After the Fact. And until next time, everybody, bye.